Google's Antigravity IDE is the best Cursor alternative that gets you closer to Cursor's value for free, but there's a catch. If you want to weigh the options between Google Antigravity IDE and Cursor, I want to save your time and show you how they compare from features to complete builds. But first, you need to understand that this tool is still in the preview. I mean Google Antigravity IDE. And as you're going to see in one of my builds, I quickly ran out of credits and it sent me in error loops and it was disappointing, of course. While Cursor free plans is good enough to build a complete app from scratch, the next question now becomes, how does Google's Antigravity counter Cursor's generous free plan or the free trial? A quick answer is the model options. They offer a low and high Gemini 3 Pro, similar to what you've seen on Cloud Sonnet 4.5 and Haiku. We'll talk about this later since it's important for you to understand how these models work within your IDE. But for now, let's look at the general features and functionalities so that you can understand their design and coding philosophy. If you're new here, my name is Joe. I create videos about AI models and AI coding tools on daily basis. You can find me here and on Medium. I currently have a goal to get to 10K subscribers. Hit that subscribe button to help us keep going. Thank you. Now let's get started with Google's Antigravity IDE versus Cursor to see which is the best for your coding needs. As you can see on my screen here, this is Antigravity's IDE and this is Cursor IDE editor layout. Both of these IDE come with two distinct modes, the agent layout and the editor layout. What you're seeing here right now is the editor layout for Google Antigravity side by side with Cursor's. Let me start by comparing the features. As you can see here, they are remarkably similar. This is the menu for each of them. If you look carefully, they both have files option to open your files and the search function and all the essential features you need, including the source control for version control and the extension where you can install extensions just like you do in VS Code. And that's an important point to remember. Both of these IDE are built on the foundation of VS Code. You will sometimes hear it described as a fork of VS Code, but the general idea is these IDEs are similar to VS Code, and that's why they've become so popular. Think of this as VS Code with added AI features or VS Code wrapped with AI capabilities. When you look at the menus, they are similar. If you examine each of these options, let's zoom so you can see and compare. You'll see the interface looks the same, but under the hood, the architecture of the design and how it works may be different, along with the models that are supported by each of these IDEs. So when you're working with either of these interfaces, it's going to feel similar when you are in the editor layout, but the key takeaway from this section is that they both have the editor layout and the agent layout at your disposal. Now let's look at the agent layout. This is the agent layout for both Cursor and Google Antigravity, placed side by side. If you check Google's Antigravity agent layout, they call it the agent manager, but for Cursor, it's simply called agents. You can toggle Cursor agent panel by clicking this button, which opens the side panel where you can have your agents and you can create multiple agents to work on the same project. It's similar for Antigravity. You can toggle here and it gives you the space, but let me bring this to the normal size so that you can compare them side by side. For Cursor, you can see you can create a new agent right here, but for Google Antigravity, you first have to select the workspace, then start a conversation. Once you click on start conversation, it's going to allow you to create more agents. Switching between the editor and layout is somehow similar. Something important to know, how to jump between the editor and the agent layout for both IDEs. For Google Antigravity, you click this option to open the editor. You can see it opens the workspace currently active and you can jump back using the Open Agent Manager. For Cursor, you simply toggle between the two using these tabs. This is the agent layout and this is the editor layout. You simply click on the tabs to jump from one to another. Next, let's look at the features that come with each of these agent layouts. For Google Antigravity, you can see it has an inbox and a way to start a conversation. Once you click on Start Conversation, it gives you the prompt input where you're going to begin your conversation within the workspace. You can see the workspace that has been selected and you can create a new workspace here. Let's look at how Cursor agent layout works. Once you click here, you can create a new agent. You can search for agents here. And this is the input area that corresponds to the Antigravity input area. So this is the Cursor prompt input box, and this is Antigravity prompt input box where you'll be typing in your prompts. Now let's compare the prompt input box and the core features for each of these IDE. This is the prompt input box for Google Antigravity. You can see you can select the mode from this dropdown, and it gives you two modes, the planning mode and the fast mode. Then you can select the model from this dropdown. For Cursor, it begins with the modes. You can see you have the agent, plan, and ask modes. Then there is this auto button that comes by default, especially in the free version. It has a toggle that you can use to see the available models. You can see there is auto, max mode, and use multiple models. Then you have these models listed here. You have Composer, which is currently the Cursor model. We have Claude Opus, then we have Close Sonnet, and you can expect in the future there will be more models here. For both of these IDEs, you can use the @ symbol to add context. For Cursor, you simply use the @ symbol to add the context, and it's the same for Antigravity. Another part is the browser feature. For Cursor, it comes with this browser option to help you connect the browser as an agent. For Antigravity, you simply open the browser sub-agent through prompting. For Cursor, you use this button to connect to the browser. Once you click on it, you'll see it's going to open the browser within the IDE. You can also connect to Google Chrome or even manage tools using advanced features. The next is the upload button. For Google Antigravity, you can add context by adding images. For Cursor, this is the image upload button. You can see it opens up the image upload, and this does the same. It opens up the image upload for Antigravity. That's the general agent layout for both Antigravity and Cursor 2.0. Here you can see this is the dropdown that you use to select the model on Google Antigravity. You can see it comes with Gemini 3 Pro high version and Gemini 3 Pro low version, Claude Sonnet 4.5, Claude Sonnet 4.5 Thinking, and these other models. Those are the currently available models on Google Antigravity, but we can expect in the future they're going to have more models. On this other side, we have Cursor layout that has this drop down that you use to select a model. For Cursor, we have this button that toggles between the available models and the default model. And this is what differentiates between the free and the premium accounts in Cursor. For the free account, you can't access these other models, but for the paid version, you can access the other model. That is important to note. For this video, we're going to be reviewing the features for the free accounts, since that's what most users have. For the next video, we're going to see a comparison with Cursor Composer, which is available in the paid version of Cursor. So back to the Cursor dropdown, you can see the models include Composer, which gives you 200K token window. Then we have Claude Opus, Claude Sonnet, we have GPT models, as well as Gemini 3 Pro model, which is currently available, and not to forget the Grok Code model. All these models are available in this Cursor version. Here we have Antigravity modes. Antigravity currently comes in two modes. First, we have the planning mode, which is used for the agent to plan before executing tasks, and you can use this for deep research, complex tasks, and collaborative work. And the second mode is a fast mode, which executes tasks directly. You can use this for simple tasks or tasks that you want to be completed quickly. On this other side, we have the Cursor modes. The default mode for Cursor is Agent, which you can open using Ctrl+I. Then you have the Plan mode, which you can create detailed plans for accomplishing tasks. And Cursor has an additional mode, the Ask mode. You can use this to ask questions about your codebase or context. Cursor has 3 modes, while Google Antigravity has 2 modes. Cursor has specific features that are currently not available in Google Antigravity. First, we have the voice mode, which is the most conspicuous thing that is not available in Google Antigravity. It allows you to use your voice input instead of typing. The other option is multiple model. Cursor has the multiple model options that allow you to use multiple models. Once you toggle this, you can select to use multiple models at the same time, which I think is cool because you can solve specific problems using multiple models simultaneously. This is missing in Google Antigravity. You can also add more models using custom API keys. You can click on this Add Model, which opens the settings page at the bottom. Add OpenAI API key. your Anthropic API key, as well as Google API key. Cursor also has this auto feature which allows you to use the automatic way of picking model, which gives you the balance of quality and speed, and this is what is recommended for most of the tasks. As I mentioned before, this is the difference between a paid Cursor account and a free account. On the modes, as I mentioned earlier, Cursor has this additional mode, the Ask mode, which allows you to ask questions about your code base, which is not available in Google Antigravity. Those are the specific features that are available in Cursor that are not available in Google Antigravity. For Google Antigravity, the current version doesn't have more unique features than Cursor, but one thing I noted is that its agent page looks a little more advanced than what we have in Cursor. You can see this is the agent layout for Cursor, and it has this input box and all the features we talked about. And you have this button to add a new agent here. But for Google Antigravity, you can see this is the agent layout. It has a button to start a conversation, which isn't necessarily unique, but it's just a layout difference. But it has this option to create workspaces. Now you can still create workspaces in Cursor the traditional way through the menu. You can go to File, then under File, you can create a workspace. But for Google Antigravity, they prioritize creating workspaces right in the agent interface. Inside the workspaces, you can click on Add New Agent to create multiple agents that work simultaneously in one project. They also have this feature for Playground, which is not available in Cursor. At the bottom, they have the Knowledge feature that allows you to add a knowledge section and document your project. I also noted that the sub-agent functionality on Google Antigravity is superior to what we have in Cursor. In Cursor, you remember we have the browser feature that allows you to turn it on and off and open the browser within the IDE. But for Google Antigravity, the sub-agent is better and more advanced than what we have in Cursor. So that has been the comparison between Google Antigravity and Cursor AI. And in the next video, you're going to see them code side by side, where we're going to do a complete comparison of Cursor versus Google Antigravity coding comparison. Click on this video on the screen to view their coding comparison. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like and subscribe. One like, one subscribe gives me one more step forward to bringing you great content. Thank you, and I appreciate.